Alright, so it is now, it's like 2 weeks later since we started this process, but new person, say hi, Chris.
Hi.
So right now, basically, we're going to go ahead and fill up all the oil and all the distance. So it's been sitting for like 2 weeks with nothing in it because I've been busy getting this thing ready to do rallycross stuff, busy with a Yaris that turned into a whole thing. It's going to be a story in and of itself at some point, but I didn't film any of it because I was trying to get my garage back in the middle of like negative degree wind chill days, and just like, yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, we're gonna get that thing back together today, hopefully, and then we're gonna try and see if we've got time to install the catch can. But if not, that may be its own thing. But goal is to get this car actually driving and running again, so that we can have it ready and testing before actually, I guess technically we still have like about a month because I am gonna skip test and tune this year, if only just again to save tires and wear and tear because I still have a bunch of other stuff to score away. But like I said, the rest of this is just gonna be us putting that back together and getting to start and seeing if it leaks oil. So yeah. It's time. That's better. Whoa. So yeah, the WRX is officially ready. Miss you, creeper. All right, so the oil pan is officially off. Takes a few more steps than I thought it would. I already knew that this little bar right here has to come off because it goes right under the oil pan. But it also turns out you also have to disconnect the AC compressor, which means you have to undo the belts, which none of this is hard stuff whatsoever. Like, it's all easy stuff. It's just more steps. So, don't let that deter you. You don't have to disconnect the AC compressor from its lines or anything, so you don't have to recharge it. You just have to take the bracket off. And then Honda Bond is on there pretty good, so it took a few good oomphs, but the Honda actually does give you a really good pry spot. It's actually on this little nubbin right here. There's a identical nubbin right above it, so you can just squeeze a thing in there and then just go to town with a medium-sized pry bar. So I figured I'd go ahead and take this opportunity to go ahead and show you guys, especially for any of you guys who are thinking about trying out the Ballade Sports oil pan baffle. So basically, for all intents and purposes, I mean, you can see this in pictures. This is what it is. It's literally just, this little cut piece of metal. I actually misunderstood how it goes in. I thought it went in like this, so I wasted a little bit of time. It actually goes in like, yeah. So basically that it doesn't actually sit in the pan like that. You actually bolt it up to, you bolt it up. Up. But yeah, so basically you bolt it up into the actual block itself, and then this is the path that it kind of follows down into the oil pan, short and simple. And so you can kind of see you've got the factory slosh protection there, but then it is up there to help kind of discourage more oil from sloshing around in other places and stuff like that. So again, it's definitely not quite as robust of a design as the oh god, I can't remember what it's called right now, but the one that has the cute little doors that only open one way. That one is still probably going to be your king, but I kind of wanted to give this one a shot. One, because it's cheaper, and two, because I kind of just wanted to see if it would work, because this is something that, not everyone knows a welder or has a shop that they trust, and especially for people who are like me, you don't like trusting other people. Luckily, I actually do have a welding friend who I would trust to weld in a pan, and I may still get the Weldon one and maybe do that to the future motor just to be a little bit safer. But like I said, for all intents and purposes, if Ballade Sports is willing to put this out there, I'm willing to give it a shot, and we'll see how it does. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bolt this bad boy up to the engine, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like, and then I was a dummy and ran off and didn't get the little Honda Bond slash RTV slash whatever sealant is on there. So I'm going to have to do that sometime over the weekend so I can actually get the sealed up. I am going to bolt it back together just to keep stuff from going in, which will be a little annoying. I'm probably just going to put together like 4 bolts. But that being said, like I said, we'll hopefully see everything back together. And then I also actually noticed, and I'll show it to you guys in a minute because I have to crawl under the car and I lent my creeper to someone and haven't gotten it back. Yay! But I'll also show you guys, I apparently didn't tighten down one of those oil lines good enough because it looks like oil is leaking out of it now, even though there's not oil in the system. Woo! Either that or I spilled something somewhere, but either way, like I said, a lot more to show you guys, but in the meantime, ta-da! Oil pan baffle! Alright, so this is a pretty terrible angle, and you can probably barely see me, but you can see that is the baffle. God, I wish I had a lift or something so I could show this to you better, but you can kind of see how, you know, it you actually have to undo, so the factory windage tray is right there. You have to undo 4 bolts in that windage tray. And then basically, you know, you can see how this is laid out. So like I said, it bolts to the block itself. The baffles themselves face in the opposite direction of the factory baffle slash oil slosh protection. So for any of you guys who are trying to install this yourself, yeah, that's basically the direction that it goes. So you'd almost think that this should go forward because, you know, when you're slamming on the brakes, you'd be like, oh, you want all the slosh protection forward. But, you know, this is like a reinforcement back here. So yeah, it goes in a U shape facing towards the front of the car. But yeah, so next step is to go ahead and put the oil pan back on because, like I said, the next step would actually be to redo this Honda Bond, but I'm going to have to do that when I actually have it available to me. So whenever I actually have it available to me, I'll actually bolt my engine back properly. But in the meantime, it's never a good idea to leave your block open to the elements for an extended period of time in an environment that, I mean, it is my garage, but at the end of the day, you know, a bug could climb in there. Not that that would affect anything. It'd probably just be extra lube, but it's good. It's a safe habit to have. So yeah, like I said, gonna go ahead and put it back together, and for now, that'll be it for this, and we'll have more coming later. Alright, so as protocol, things did not go as expected, and we did not get as far as I would have liked last week. Yes, that's right, it has actually been a week since I've been able to work on stuff. So obviously where we left off was just that we had the oil pan baffle installed, and we needed to reinstall the oil pan, and my dumb butt went and forgot that I needed Honda Bond to put it together. So, that being said, ta-da! Got the Honda Bond. So, I actually found out that it actually takes 3 days to cure. So, even once I do this, I'm still technically going to be kind of waiting a little bit before I can really test everything out. Because, like I said, the oil cooler's been on there for almost a month now, and I haven't even actually tested everything yet. So, I still need to go ahead and try and find a better way to fasten down that one line that I think may have been leaking. And I'm going to check on that today since it's had almost a week to sit and see if it's leaking, which, like I said, I don't know why it would. Well, actually, to be fair, I guess that line could leak because it is connected directly to where the oil filter goes. So, anywho, like I said, long story short is today we're going to put the oil pan back on, get it sealed, fill up all of the other gearboxes with fluid, and once we do that, then pretty much we're ready to go ahead and drop the car back down because we can start replacing all of the drain plugs. So again, for those of you guys who didn't see the first one, we're replacing all my drain plugs with these, you can see the bolts stuck to it, but with these neat little titanium drain plugs that have magnets on them that will help collect all the different little flaky bits and stuff, and they're strong. Like, I mean, it stays on there, and you know, it doesn't look like I'm doing that much, but I was actually shaking it with a decent amount of force right there. So yeah, so like I said, we're just gonna put everything back together. Nothing crazy exciting. There will be some more stuff coming up pretty soon though. I'll make a whole nother separate video talking about some stuff, but we do officially have a new wheel sponsor for this year. So like I said, I'm gonna make a separate announcement thing for that. And also we have not a tire sponsor, but we have a shop we're working with for tires. So, quick sneak peek, but these, not for the S2000 unfortunately, but they are for the WRX. So yeah, like I said, a lot of stuff going on, but I'm going to focus on just trying to get all this stuff done, because next Rallycross is in like 3 weeks, and next pavement-y thing is shortly after that. So sounds like a lot of time until you realize that I've got a whole nother project that I also have to show you guys involving the trailer and everything. So let's get back to work. Alright, so we got all the old gasket material off. You can see, basically, I took the lazy route. I originally was trying to scrape it all off, and then I ended up just taking some high-grit sandpaper. Yep, there you go. High-grit sandpaper, and just basically cleaned off all of these edges. And I realize now that after I turn it upside down, I put oil right there. So, yay! Alright, so anywho, basically I'm going to go ahead and clean that off again. And then after everything is all cleaned up, which is why I took all the oil out in the first place, I knew that was going to happen, and I still missed stuff. So anywho, we're going to go ahead, lay down the Honda Bond, which it's kind of interesting when you read through the process, because it's actually like you have to put it down, and then, let's see, yeah, it's like you have to let it dry. Oh, no, okay, so never mind. I thought earlier it said that you had to place some down and then let it sit for a minute. Does it say? Yeah, no, actually, wait approximately 1 minute, then join the two surfaces. Which, in the time it'll take for me to crawl under the car and do all that, that'll be more than enough time. So, yeah, it'll be a little sucky because I'm by myself today, which means I don't have someone to hand me all the bolts. And likewise, also, one of my tools fell down and knocked all the bolts around. So, I kind of have them back in order, but it's not perfect, but either way, I'll go ahead and start putting them in, and then, I'll be able to figure out which one a long one needs to be. And, yeah, we'll get this fastened down, and then we can move on to, I didn't have that centered this whole time. Anyway, yeah, so, anyway, like I said, we're going to go ahead, and next step is to get it actually on the car. Okay, so, as per usual, a lot of things took a bit longer, not because anything went wrong, but just because it took longer than I thought it would. I still have this little kind of dinky pump. It's like it's literally like a lotion cap. But this thing takes forever to top up the tranny and the diff by hand. But I decided I'd try out the Royal Purple, and I actually, I feel kind of dumb, because it seems like a no-dir thing, but I didn't realize it was actually purple. But yeah, so now I've got all of because you guys would have seen it when I was doing the oil pan, and I just realized my dumb butt didn't grab my light. So hold on, I'm going to go to where the light is. But yeah, so got my new titanium drain plug. You can kind of see it ish down there in the bottom of the diff, which again, that has a magnet in it, so it'll help collect any particles from the diff. And then it's the same party here on the side of the transmission, so you can see that little bolt right there, little titanium bolt. Same deal, and it's across the board. So I've just got one of those in engine oil, one of those in tranny oil, and one of those in diff oil, which, like I said, there's no real performance benefit, but I'm sorry about the light, that was really bright. But the main goal of that is just so I can better assess the health of my things. So after the next track event I do, I'll go ahead and drain everything. It's a little early for me. I usually wait until I've done maybe 2 or 3 track days. You're supposed to do it more often, but anywho, so gonna do it after the next track day. See if anything collects on those little magnets, and if so, sweet. But yeah, so unfortunately I can't do engine oil yet because again the aforementioned the Honda bond is setting in. So I'm just gonna let the Honda sit for the rest of the week, or for the next few days anyway. And then once it gets far enough along, I'll go ahead and top it up, and we'll check for leaks in the God, I am tired. All right, yeah, we'll check for leaks in the oil cooler lines as well as everywhere else, and then hopefully this bad boy will be ready to sit down on the ground again. Not that it's going to do anything, but it'll be nice to be able to add it to the shuffle of cars I have to do. And then it'll be also nice to test fit it onto the trailer because I still have to build ramps to make it easier for this thing to get on the trailer. So I got to test fit all of that stuff. And then just as a whole, also the weather is nice in the Midwest. So it'd be nice to actually drive it just for funsies. Because I still joke about it. This car is actually more comfortable to drive than my WRX. Like, this is actually comfortable on the street. So, at point, I didn't actually wave over there. But it's actually, like, comfortable to drive on the street. So it's not bad at all. It's just not super practical. But when you're just going out to do something fun, boom, it does a great job. So, yeah. So, last thing is just that I'm going to go ahead and swap out the tires again. I'm going to put I'm going to put a 275 on the front again, measure some clearancey things, which won't be super duper great yet because I can't put weight on the wheels because I don't want to bother putting it on the ground. So actually that may have to wait. But the worst thing is that basically I have, I guess I've got time before the event, but I would like to go ahead and get my wheels and tires ordered as soon as possible, so I have as much time to get them mounted as possible, because last time I tried to do something the week before an event, that was a kerfuffle. So, anywho, I'm going to keep on shooting these. These are going to come out horribly late, because I am hilariously behind on my video editing and whatnot, so this will be probably 2 or 3 weeks from now, if you guys are even lucky, but like I said, just getting it prepped, and hopefully by the end of next week, it'll be driving around and doing testing and stuff, and then, we'll be ready for hopefully grid life in April. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, so quick last minute update since I did not do anything up until... God, dude, it's just been a crazy past few days. So anywho, long story short, cruise control module used to go here. I did end up, there you go, now you can actually see. I did end up deciding that I was going to delete it so that the catch can, this little buddy right here, can go whoop, whoop, right in there. Because there's plenty of room for it. And I'm hoping, I may have actually figured something out here, because, let me go make my way back over here. So this is the bracket that used to hold that module. And I'm hoping that if I cut off this platform, so yeah, this bracket's never going to be used again, this little bit, I'm going to leave that, and it's wide enough, so I actually should be able to mount the catch can to this, and basically, it means I don't have to fashion a new bracket. I just put this right back in, and then on top of that, it makes it a lot easier, because I also forgot to mention, the reason why, the little reservoir over there is hanging out, is because that slots into here, so I didn't want to have to cut this up if I didn't have to. But good thing is now that doesn't have to change. So I'm going to go ahead and chop this up. Unfortunately, I'm really limited on time, so I won't have any time lapse of me doing this because the other camera just takes a while to set up. But you'll get a lot more footage from tomorrow when we're getting prepped up for grid life. So, ta-da! That's it for now. Alright, so as per protocol, things took a lot longer than expected and did not go as originally intended. I kind of partially did what I said I was going to do, but instead of being able to just super easily plop it in there and bolt it in, I actually had to bend this little bracket a little. Yeah, you can't see it super well, but this bracket right here, I had to bend it down there, so there's a little bend in it now. But now it fits. You know, it's not perfectly straight or the best thing ever, but it'll definitely do. And then the kit that I bought with little caps, you know, they're all candy colored, so you got a green one, pink one. But nonetheless, they serve their purpose. I need to get a hose clamp for this one, although luckily this is not a big concern because this runs down to the factory intake right around here. And so factory intake, you know, it sucks, so it's not going to blow that off. The only ones you really absolutely need clamps on are these two because that's where pressure actually builds. So likewise, this is technically overkill / unnecessary. And you know what? I may even, just for funsies, I'll put a zip tie on this just to be kind of sort of safe. But for the most part, catch cans installed. It's not super hard. Don't 100% recommend doing it the way I did because technically, I know that when you do intakes, a lot of that vacuum lining goes away. So like all of this mess right here isn't there in a lot of aftermarket builds. So you know, I would probably actually go through and do the research in order to actually delete those properly. But again, time is kind of the essence, and I wouldn't be able to order a lot of things even if I wanted to. So that being said, you know, we're going to roll with the silliness because it will accomplish my set goals. So next thing is we just got to cut off the ends of those bolts for the splitter clevises, and then install the skid plate blocks, but that's all going to happen tomorrow while we're packing and getting ready to head out. So as per protocol, it's going to be a bit of a mad rush until the very end, but the good thing is it's looking like we'll be right on track.